Hi, good evening, everybody. Okay. Adequate notice of this meeting, as required by the Open Public Meetings Act, was provided through the posting, mailing, and filing of the annual notice of regularly scheduled meetings of the Town Council on December 17, 2024. The notice was on that date posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, provided to the Westfield Leader and the Star Ledger, and filed with the clerk of the town of Westfield. Ms. Lawson, we have a roll call.
Mayor Brindle?
Here.
Council members Hapgood, Dardia,
Here.
Domagala,
Here.
Kiefer, Saunders,
Here.
Armento,
Here.
Contract,
Here.
Healy.
Here.
Please rise for the invocation given by Councilman Saunders and then remain standing for the salute to the flag.
Today, may we be open to others' ideas and beliefs, respectful of our differences, not threatened by them. May we grow in understanding of one another. Strength, real strength, can always find compromise, working together, maybe find a common ground, enable us to move forward with a shared purpose. May we see what is truly important and unites us, focusing on that to banish roadblocks of ego and fear. Today, may we open to others' ideas and beliefs.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll do the first, okay. All right, which one? We'll do the parking. We are doing two proclamations. First one is for National Parkinson's Awareness Month. Thank you for being here, ladies. It's great to see you. Okay. Whereas Parkinson's disease is a chronic progressive neurological disease and is the second most common neurodegenerative disease in the United States. And whereas Parkinson's disease is estimated to affect approximately 1 million people in the U.S., and the prevalence will rise to 1.2 million by 2030. And whereas 90,000 new people are diagnosed each year in the United States with Parkinson's disease. And whereas Parkinson's disease is the 14th leading cause of death in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And whereas it is estimated that the economic burden of Parkinson's disease is at least $52 billion annually, including direct and indirect costs, including treatment, Social Security payments, and lost income to patients and family members. And whereas research suggests the cause of Parkinson's disease is a combination of genetic and environmental factors, but the exact cause and progression of the disease is still unknown. And whereas there is no objective test or biomarker for Parkinson's, and there is no cure or drug to slow or halt the progression of the disease. And whereas the symptoms of Parkinson's vary from person to person and can include tremors, slowness of movement and rigidity, difficulty with balance, swallowing, chewing, and speaking, cognitive impairment and dementia, mood disorders, and a variety of other non-motor symptoms. And whereas volunteers, researchers, caregivers, and medical professionals are working to improve the quality of life of persons living with Parkinson's disease and their families. And whereas increased research, education, and community support service, such as those provided by the Parkinson's Foundation and other organizations, are needed to find more effective treatments and to provide access to quality care to those living with the disease today. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Shelley Brindle, in recognition of the need to bring awareness to the plight of Parkinson's patients and their families, do hereby designate the month of April of 2025 as Parkinson's Awareness Month in the town of Westfield. Thank you for being here. Do you want to say anything?
I always want to say something. On behalf of the Parkinson's group in Westfield, I want to thank you, Mayor Brindle, and this council for honoring us with this proclamation. And I just want to tell you a little bit about the group. We meet on Mondays, and actually we were meeting monthly before COVID. That shut everything down. And before we were doing that, well, actually after COVID, we started meeting weekly and virtually. And for the time being, when we opened up, we realized how important it was to actually be with people, and also we could reach out to the ones who could no longer attend the meetings. So we now meet virtually and in person We have a hybrid meeting that we meet on the second Monday of the month, and we meet virtually only on the other Mondays from 1:30 to 3. And or also during COVID, Jean White, the fitness instructor who leads Parkinson's classes at the Y, she came on and she shares the meetings with us. I am responsible for the content for the first 45 minutes, and she comes on and leads the group in 45 minutes of exercise afterwards. So
Everyone is welcome, right? And caregivers. And
it is for caregivers and people with Parkinson's. Cheryl here is a member, and we have some great events coming up. For Parkinson's Awareness Month, we will have an information table at the library on April 11th, which is World Parkinson's Day, and we'll be there from 1 to 4. And then also, we have a walk on Monday, and we will be in the park and raising some money. Mindawaska Park, we will be walking to raise some money for the Parkinson's Unity Walk.
Well, great.
So,
Thank you so much.
and one other thing too, for World Parkinson's Day, we have another initiative. It's a global initiative by a group called the PD Avengers, and it is called Spark the Night, and we are advocating for people to light up buildings, and
We're lighting up town hall.
yes, we are.
Very excited about that.
And so if you see buildings in blue on April the 11th at night, it's for Parkinson's awareness.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay. Next, I think we have a crew that's going to come up here for it is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, and I think our dispatch folks are here. Come on up, you guys. Please, Chief. Chief, you gonna come here? Come on. How are you? It's great to see you guys here. And I have to say, credit to Chief Badalora for requesting this. And I will read this proclamation, and then I'm going to ask the Chief to say a few words. So whereas emergencies that require police, fire, or emergency medical services can occur at any time, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and EMTs is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and EMTs is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who contact the Westfield Emergency Communications Center. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital links for our police officers, firefighters, and EMTs by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Westfield Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of Westfield declares the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Westfield in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Thank you all so much for your service, and congratulations on the accreditation this year. Such a proud moment for the department and for you guys in particular. And I'm going to hand it over to Chief and maybe talk a little bit about the number of calls these folks receive.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank the Mayor and Council for recognizing these 6 dispatchers here. We're very fortunate in Westfield to operate our own public safety communications center. It is a public safety answering point, which means we answer 911 calls, and it is also a public safety dispatch point, which means we also dispatch for our public service agencies. To give you an idea of the workload these individuals handled, in 2024, they answered over 5,000 911 calls. They answered over 30,000 administrative phone calls. Those are calls that come in on our 7-digit, or I should say our 10-digit non-emergency number, which in many instances are in fact people reporting emergencies. And they processed over 53,000 calls for police, fire, and emergency medical services. That's in 1 year, so that's a very substantial workload. It's very fitting to honor them or to recognize them this week because we are about to undergo a very extensive accreditation, or I should say re-accreditation examination the first week of May. And we would not be an accredited communication center if it weren't for the efforts of these 6 people. Just to give you an idea, there are over 550 law enforcement agencies in the state of New Jersey. While not every one of them operates a public safety answering point, a public safety dispatch point, we are one of only 10 that are accredited by the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police. So not only is our law enforcement agency accredited, but so is our public safety answering point. We became the 5th, just the 5th agency in New Jersey to achieve both such accreditations. The only one, well, initially the only one in Union County. Elizabeth is now accredited as well, but we are one of only 10 agencies in the state of New Jersey. So Michael, Alexa, Thomas, Robert, Joseph, and Kim, thank you for your efforts. I am greatly appreciative.
Okay, Jim, do you have any remarks?
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for honoring our exceptional dispatch crew. A couple updates from me tonight, real quick. Just more public information points. Community or Conservation Center is open, has been open. Permits are still for sale online. We have, despite some of the raindrops, grass is starting to grow, so lots of activity at the Conservation Center for that and recycling. Pool memberships. We have now gone through the first couple of tiers of membership renewal. It's now open to residents and non-residents. We have less than 1,000 individual spaces left for the year, and we will expect to sell out again for another consecutive year. I guess a reminder to the public, we have over 9,700 individual members that join this pool, myself included, and it's a great place to be. And again, thanks to Heather, Lauren, the Recreation Department for really doing a great job again getting the memberships out there and doing the work on the pool. A reminder, we have a new filtration system this year, which is on its final stages of being installed. Will be tested in the month of May, as well as some new features in the children's area. So really exciting season coming up. Road paving. So I'm going to be up here now every single council meeting talking about road paving. It starts really this week. We are beginning our carryover state aid job. The first one we're getting to was awarded last year. Carried over to this year is the Francis and Clover paving job. And what'll start later this week is the handicap ramp installations. There's only a handful there. And then next week we expect the mill and pave to be done. And then there'll be some state testing required because of the state money we're getting. But that job should be completed, weather permitting, by the end of next week, if not sooner. So that'll be the first carryover job. Reminder, we have 2 other state aid jobs we'll be actually awarding this year. Broadway Avenue from around Cotting Road to Clifton. And then also Elm Street from Dudley to East Broad. That one was delayed because of Elizabethtown gas work that's currently going on there. And so then also we have our roughly 8 miles. Tonight is the capital budget. So we are actually getting ready to approve the allotment of money to do just shy of 8 miles of road by the town, along with other little projects included in there. So if that gets approved tonight, in the month of May, we'll be able for the first time to award some contracts and can work contracts beyond there as well. So we're excited about that, and our town engineer is working diligently on getting bid documents together for those items. Last 2 items, again, sewer fees were due April 1st. Again, as always, 10-day grace period. So this Thursday is the 10-day window where it ends. So thank you for those that have paid. If you haven't paid, Please pay by Thursday, online or in person, and avoid any late fee charges. And lastly, as was mentioned before, we have the ability now to, we always lit up Town Hall, but we have the ability, thanks to Public Works and Craig Gibson, to change the colors of how it's lit up. So this month, we are letting it for Parkinson's Awareness Month, as well as Autism Awareness Month, in the same color, blue, for the month. So every night for the month of April, starting April 1st, we've been lighting it up a blue. So before you leave, take a look. It looks really nice. And we have the ability to do that now for other events throughout the course of the year. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Chairman.
Sure.
So just a few comments before we head into the agenda. I also want to remind everybody, in case you didn't know, this week we celebrate National Public Health Week, which provides the opportunity to express our gratitude to all of our public health workers, and in particular, our regional health department, which is led by Megan Avalone, which provides public health services to 120,000 residents in 9 municipalities, including Westfield. A lot of people don't realize about the reach and extent of our Westfield Health Department, and it serves 9 municipalities and has quite a stellar reputation statewide, and I know certainly down in Trenton. But unfortunately, there have been some recent federal decisions, which I think we're all pretty much aware of, that is due to these decisions, public health professionals all over the country, including here in Westfield, face significant proposed cuts that will impede critical services that they deliver to their communities. In fact, the proposed cuts to Medicaid will put about $10 billion of crucial federal funding for New Jersey residents at risk. That's a 70% reduction from the current $14 billion in Medicaid federal funding the state currently receives, and it will devastate the state's current $24 billion Medicaid budget. On March 28th, Megan and I sat in the audience here in Westfield while Governor Murphy hosted a roundtable discussion here in Westfield on this topic. He was joined by the state's health commissioners and 7 residents from our congressional district whose lives would be negatively impacted by these cuts. The panelists consisted of residents with disabilities, as well as caregivers and practitioners, all reliant on Medicaid to receive or deliver services, including the CEO of Children's Specialized Hospital, Dr. Matthew McDonald, who I spoke to at length afterwards. Children's Specialized, which I'm sure Councilman Armento knows well, which is the largest provider of charity care and care to Medicaid beneficiaries in the state of New Jersey, receives 50% of its funding through Medicaid to care for its patients. And so I think my big takeaway after sitting at this round table, whether you are a direct beneficiary of Medicaid or not, a devastating federal reduction of what is being considered will have a cascading effect through the entire healthcare system, which could force the closing of hospitals and the layoffs of doctors in hospitals, impacting every person's quality of care. Here at home, the Westfield Regional Health Department has for now been able to adapt their services to this new budget reality and does not have to cut core services at this time, thanks to some creativity by Megan. But other surrounding communities, immediate surrounding communities, however, are not as fortunate, and they have begun eliminating some of the public health services they provide. We do, however, anticipate additional future cuts, and our health department is currently preparing plans for what that would mean for the delivery of their services. And as mayor, I do believe it's my job to leverage my platform to advocate for our residents, particularly those who are not always in a position to advocate for themselves. And I believe, and the reason I bring this up regarding the cuts last time and now, it's critical that every resident understand how these federal decisions directly impact our neighbors and community. Nobody is immune from the decisions that are being made. And all I can ask and implore everyone is to please contact Senators Kim and Booker and Congressman Kane to remind them that our healthcare system must continue to provide the health services that so many of our residents rely upon. On to separate topic, I do want to remind everybody, hopefully everyone is aware, that next Tuesday, April 15th, Westfield residents will vote on an additional spending proposal for the 25-26 school district operating budget and a bond referendum that includes funding for school improvements and full-day kindergarten. Hopefully, if you're going away, you get your look for the yellow envelopes in the mail. Mine came last week. Please, those are your mail-in ballots. Easiest thing to do is drop them off at the county clerk's office in the box outside. And it's very important, especially for those that vote unfortunately falls during spring break for the schools, which is a date set by the state. But please, if you can learn about mail-in options. I know some people just went directly to the clerk's office and were able to do it in one transaction while they were there. So please vote on this critical project for the schools. Lots of comments. If you were driving on portions of East Dudley Avenue today, you probably noticed the production crew that's in place between Lawrence and Elm, which is part of a film shoot by Netflix. We can't publicize the details, but I can tell you it's very exciting with some very top tier talent. The crew is going to continue in this location through Thursday, and then they're moving on to filming in front of Wilson School and the immediate area April 16th through 18th, which is over spring break, and then on to Sherwood Parkway on April 18th. The police department did send out NICS alerts last night and this morning with details about the timing of the road closures. They are there directing traffic, etc., and they'll continue to do so until the film shooting is wrapped up. So if you also see a bunch of cars and trucks in the Lord and Taylor parking lot, that's where they were. They're kind of putting all their materials and so forth during the production shoot. So just know that those additional vehicles are part of the production equipment and catering requirements, and they're not being parked overnight in residential neighborhoods. I also want to remind everybody to fill out that Tamaulipas Park survey if you haven't done so already. The good news is that by popular demand, and we've gotten such great feedback, the original deadline was April 11th, but it has been moved back a week or two, so we want to make sure that we capture as much additional community input as possible. And God bless you. As a reminder, it is part of the Recreations Commission exploration of a design plan for Tamaulipas Park to upgrade and expand existing facilities. Lots of exciting possibilities, I think. There will also be some public visioning sessions, I think, where people can come in person and provide input as well. And David Kiefer is leading that as the liaison to the Recreation Commission. So if you haven't done the survey, please do so. Now you have a little bit of extra time to complete it. In terms of tonight's legislative agenda, a few things I just want to highlight. The most exciting thing on the budget tonight is the vote to adopt the 2025 capital budget. And capital is always fun because those are things that we fund that we can actually touch and see. It's for long-term projects in public works, parks, recreation offerings, the library, public safety, maintenance, and infrastructure and paving, which Jim mentioned. And I think the paving, and we'll be talking more about this, but by next year, if we adopt this ordinance tonight, we will have paved all 100 miles of road in Westfield, which is since 2018, which is an unprecedented accomplishment by any municipality. Lots of an innovative ordinance requiring a partnership with utility companies, but also even some of the data-driven decisions that were made that really created a paving plan for the next few years. Ultimately, when this is done, we anticipate a savings to taxpayers of over $20 million by having the utilities go full curb-to-curb repaving. And not only that, an acceleration of the infrastructure improvements because of that partnership. So I call this one of our biggest win-wins, and we're very excited about that big milestone that we're going to be reaching. And regarding public safety, we're also going to be authorizing award of a contract for apparatus refurbishment, which is really an award of contract for our truck replacement, fire truck replacement with a 25% down payment. And very excited about that, I'm sure, right, Chief Delks. And we're also going to be hearing an ordinance on first reading to authorize a new yield sign at David Court and Carroll Road in response to some residents' concerns. And lastly, I just want to highlight one ordinance on first reading from Public Works. And it is the not to exceed prices for certain limit items at the Conservation Center, including bulky waste permits, landscaper registration, one-day permits, etc. I just remind everybody, when we do not to exceed prices, it doesn't mean that's what the price is going to be. It just gives the council the flexibility to adjust the price based upon the real world circumstances that happen when we go out for those. So we'll be doing that tonight. So, but a resolution with an actual fee schedule for each item will come back before the town council once those decisions have been made. So with that, I do have a personal note tonight. I want to wish my husband a happy 30th anniversary. I am here. He is home with the 4 dogs alone. But I do think when I left this evening, I just want to credit all my colleagues here. It is a reminder of how much our family sacrifice, I think, for our service. Although I don't know if my husband would see me being here was a sacrifice on his part. But anyway, happy 30th anniversary to Kip at home, and thank you so much for your support. So with that, we'll get to work. Ms. Washley, are there any advertised hearings?
Yes, Mayor, we have 2 hearings tonight, starting with General Ordinance 2025-06, an ordinance for calendar year 2025 to establish a cap bank. Anyone wishing to be heard on General Ordinance 2025-06, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed.
Next is Special Ordinance 2025-01, a bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery, new communication and signal systems equipment, and new automotive and electric vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the town of Westfield in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $5,065,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. Anyone wishing to be heard on Special Ordinance 2025-01, please come to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing no one, Mayor, you may close the hearing.
This hearing is closed. Councilman Contract, please move for the adoption of these ordinances.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move for the adoption of General Ordinance Number 2025-06, an ordinance for calendar year 2025 to establish a cap bank.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Saunders. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Council members Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Contract,
Yes.
Healy,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried.
I'd also like to move for the adoption of Special Ordinance Number 2025-01, a bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment and machinery, new communication and signal systems equipment, and new automotive and electric vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the town of Westfield and the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $5,065,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Armento. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Council members Dardia,
Yes.
Domagala,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Contract,
Yes.
Healy,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the Town Council Conference and regular meetings of March 25th, 2025?
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Dardia. Second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Domagala. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Now it's time for open discussion by citizens. Anyone may come up to the microphone and speak to the council on any subject on which we have jurisdiction. Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Hearing none, I close this portion of the meeting and move to bills and claims. Councilman Contract.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move bills and claims in the amount of $1,088,687.03.
Don't forget the 3 cents.
No, very important, 3 cents.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Saunders. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Next on the agenda is reports of standing committees, beginning with the Finance Policy Committee. Councilman Contract.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 12 resolutions, 11 of which to move as a package. First is a resolution authorizing the CFO to refund Recreation Department fees. The second is a resolution authorizing the CFO to refund Police Department fees. The third is a resolution authorizing the CFO to refund a street opening cash bond. The fourth is a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for dog licenses for March 2025. Fifth is a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for Board of Adjustment escrow monies. Sixth is a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant to the Treasurer of State of New Jersey for marriage and civil union license fees. The seventh is a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for first quarter construction official state permit fees. 8, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw warrants pursuant to the Tax Court of New Jersey. 9th, a resolution authorizing the CFO to draw a warrant for overpaid taxes. 10th, a resolution authorizing the tax collector to cancel the tax balance for 200 South Avenue, which is the property the town just purchased, the old Jiffy Lube station. And 11th and last is a resolution providing for the self-examination of the 2025 municipal budget.
May I have a second? Second by Councilman Damagala. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried.
I would also like to move a resolution to approve temporary emergency appropriations.
May I have a second? Second by Councilman Saunders. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Council members Dardia,
Yes.
Dalmagallo,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Contract, Healy,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried. Next up is Public Safety, Transportation, and Parking Committee. Councilman Dardia.
Thank you, Mayor. I have two resolutions I would like to move as a package. Number one, resolution authorizing an award of contract for the reconditioning and refurbishing of fire department apparatus. Two, resolution authorizing an award of contract for the purchase of a fire department pumper apparatus.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Contract. Any discussion?
I just wanted to make a quick comment for Chief Dulks. I think this is a really good example of being creative, and spending taxpayers' dollars wisely, right? We could have, as a finance committee, and Councilman Damagala was part of these discussions, said, all right, let's just buy 2 fire trucks. But working together, we said it's a big cost. Is there a different and better way to get us to the goal, which is to make sure we have the right equipment to take care of Westfield's needs? So, Chief, I just want to thank you for being flexible and open-minded to our request and coming back with a really good plan that I don't remember the exact dollar savings, but it's significant, and the multi-hundreds of thousands of dollars that we did not have to put into the capital budget to meet the town's needs.
Well done. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried.
I'll continue. I would like to move General Ordinance Number 2025-07 on first reading, an ordinance to amend the code of the Town of Westfield, Chapter 13.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Damagala. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Council members Dardia,
Yes.
Dalmagallo,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Contract,
Yes.
Healy,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried. Next up is Code Review and Town Property Committee. Councilman Contract.
I would like to move a resolution to approve children's amusement device licenses for the upcoming baseball and softball parade.
May I have a second? Second by Councilman Saunders. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried. Next is the Public Works Committee. Councilman Healy.
Yes, I move a resolution awarding a contract for tree pruning and removal services.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Contract. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? This motion is carried.
I'll also move a general ordinance on first reading, an ordinance to amend the code of the town of Westfield. This has to do with fees at the very successful conservation center that we have been running for more than 50 years.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Contract. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Council members Dardia,
Yes.
Dalmagallo,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Armento,
Yes.
Contract,
Yes.
Healy,
Yes.
Mayor Brindle.
Yes, this motion is carried. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
So moved. Councilman Healy, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Saunders. All in favor? Yes. Opposed? This motion is carried. This meeting is adjourned. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here.